There is a brown bottle in your bathroom cabinet that costs about $1. It's been sitting there since the Clinton administration, and you've probably used it twice. Meanwhile, the average American household spends around $600 a year on cleaning supplies, most of which do exactly what that dollar bottle already does. Hydrogen peroxide breaks down into nothing but water and oxygen, and in the kitchen, it quietly replaces about half your cabinet. Let's get into it. The basics, quick ground rules because they matter for every single trick coming up. The bottle you want is standard 3% hydrogen peroxide, the exact same stuff sold as a first aid antiseptic. That is the concentration the CDC describes as a stable and effective disinfectant on inanimate surfaces. You do not need the 12% or the 35% food-grade concentrate. Those are industrial strength. They cause chemical burns on contact with skin, and there is no kitchen job on this list that requires them. Second rule, peroxide is light sensitive. That's why it ships in an opaque brown bottle. The moment you pour it into a clear spray bottle and set it on the windowsill, it starts degrading into plain water. The pro move is to skip the transfer entirely. Buy a spray trigger that screws directly onto the peroxide bottle. They are about $2 at any hardware store, and they keep the peroxide in the dark where it belongs. Third rule, and this is the big one, never mix hydrogen peroxide and vinegar in the same bottle. Combined, they form peracetic acid, which is corrosive and irritating to skin, eyes, and lungs. Used one after the other on a surface, they are a superstar duo. We'll get to that in trick number 2. Pre-mixed in a jug under your sink, they are a bad idea. Keep them separate, always. Last thing, contact time. This is where almost everyone goes wrong. Peroxide kills slower than bleach. If you spray and immediately wipe, you cleaned the surface, but you did not disinfect it. Give it 10 minutes. That's the whole trick. All right, grab your bottle. Number 1, the $2 all-purpose disinfectant spray. Walk down the cleaning aisle and you'll find disinfecting sprays running $8, $9, $10 a bottle. Flip one over and read the active ingredient. On a huge number of them, it's hydrogen peroxide, usually somewhere between 0.5% and 1.4%, meaning it's weaker than the drugstore bottle you already own. You are, quite literally, paying a premium for diluted peroxide with fragrance in it. Here's the replacement. Screw a spray trigger onto your 3% bottle. Spray your counters, your sink basin, your faucet handles, the fridge door handle, the microwave buttons, anywhere hands land until the surface is visibly wet. Then walk away for 10 minutes. Come back and wipe with a clean cloth or just let it air dry. It breaks down into water and oxygen, so there's no chemical film left behind. The mechanism is genuinely cool. Hydrogen peroxide is just a water molecule wearing an extra oxygen atom. That extra oxygen breaks loose and forms hydroxyl free radicals, which tear into the cell membranes, DNA, and proteins of bacteria and viruses. Bacteria do have a defense, an enzyme called catalase that neutralizes peroxide, but at 3%, that defense gets completely overwhelmed. Where to be careful, peroxide is a mild bleach. It's fine on sealed granite, quartz, stainless, laminate, ceramic tile, glass, and porcelain. Keep it off unsealed natural stone like marble, off unfinished wood, and off colored grout you actually like the color of. And do a test spot on anything you're unsure about. Replaces, disinfecting sprays and wipes, $8 to $10 a bottle. Number 2. The 1-2 punch for cutting boards. This is the trick that turns a dollar bottle into something that outperforms almost everything under your sink, and it comes out of actual food science research. In the mid-1990s, food scientist Sumner ran a series of experiments on decontaminating food and food contact surfaces. She deliberately contaminated produce and meat surfaces with Salmonella, Shigella, and E. coli 0157H7, and then hit them with mists of vinegar and hydrogen peroxide. Individually, each one knocked down bacteria. Sprayed back to back, the effect multiplied dramatically. As she described the scale of it to Science News, if the vinegar killed 100 organisms and the peroxide killed 10,000, the two together killed 100,000. The pairing was reported as more effective against those bacteria than chlorine bleach or the commercial kitchen cleaners tested. The catch, and it's the whole ball game, is that they have to live in separate bottles. Mixed in advance, they form peracetic acid and the synergy is gone. Sprayed in sequence onto the surface, you get the effect. So, 2 spray bottles. Plain white distilled vinegar in one, 3% peroxide in the other. Rinse the board with hot water first to clear food debris, organic gunk shields, bacteria, and blunts both sprays. Mist the board with vinegar. Mist it with peroxide. Let it sit a full 10 minutes. Rinse. On a wood board with deep knife grooves, pour it right into the cuts and tilt the board so it pools in. That's where the bacteria are actually hiding, and it's exactly where a quick soapy wipe never reaches. One honesty note. Sumner herself has pointed out that bleach remains the broadest spectrum household disinfectant, and this method reduces germs rather than sterilizing. For a home kitchen after chicken night, that's a distinction without a difference. Replaces bleach, cutting board sprays, antibacterial kitchen cleaners. Number 3, the produce wash you don't have to buy. The bottled veggie wash at the grocery store is $5 or $6 for what is essentially water with a surfactant in it. Meanwhile, the method above was originally developed for produce. Same setup, gentler execution. Put your berries, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, grapes, anything you're eating raw in a colander. Mist thoroughly with the vinegar. Mist thoroughly with the peroxide. Let it sit a couple of minutes, then rinse well under cold running water. The rinse matters because otherwise your salad tastes faintly of a pickle. There's no point doing this to anything you're about to boil, roast, or fry. Heat handles bacteria far more thoroughly than any spray. Save it for the raw stuff. Now here's the bonus that turns this from a safety habit into a money saver. It fights the mold that ruins berries. If you've ever bought a clamshell of raspberries on Sunday and found a fuzzy gray colony on Wednesday, you weren't unlucky. Those spores were already on the fruit at the store. Peroxide is fungicidal, and it kills the spores before they get established. For a batch of berries, use a bowl of cold water with about a quarter cup of 3% peroxide stirred in. Swirl the berries for a minute, drain, rinse in clean water, and then this part is non-negotiable, dry them completely. Spread them on a towel, pat them, let them air out. Moisture is what mold needs. Store them dry in a container lined with paper towel, lid cracked. Berries that used to die in 4 days routinely go a week and a half. Replaces commercial produce wash, $5 to $6 a bottle, plus the berries you keep throwing away. Number 4, resurrect the kitchen sponge. Here's an uncomfortable fact. Research on used household sponges has found bacterial densities in the ballpark of what you'd find in human stool samples. Your sponge is warm, damp, porous, and marinated in food particles. It is, structurally speaking, a bacteria hotel. The microwave trick works, but it also melts sponges with any plastic backing and turns your kitchen into a smell you will regret. Peroxide is easier. Fill a bowl or a mug with equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and warm water. Drop the sponge in, squeeze it a few times to force liquid deep into the pores. That is the part people skip, and it is the part that matters because surface contact does nothing for the interior. Let it soak 15 minutes. Squeeze it out and let it dry standing up, not lying flat in a puddle. The same soak works for dish brushes, silicone scrubbers, the removable sink strainer sheet. and the sink caddy that has been sitting in its own gray water since spring. You will actually see it working. When peroxide hits organic material, it fizzes. That is the catalase in bacteria and food residue splitting it apart and releasing oxygen. The more foam, the more there was to deal with. Real talk though, this extends a sponge's life. It does not make it immortal. Once it smells sour even after a soak, the biofilm has won. Toss it. Replaces antibacterial sponge sprays and the habit of buying a new pack every 2 weeks. Number 5. Bring sheet pans back from the dead. This one is the crowd favorite, and it works so well it's borderline unsettling. You know the pan. Blackened, sticky, carbonized grease welded into the corners, the one you flip upside down when guests come over. Oven cleaner will take it off, but oven cleaner is lye in an aerosol can. It stinks up the house for 2 days, and it costs $8. Instead, sprinkle a generous, even layer of baking soda over the entire pan. You shouldn't see much metal through it. Spray it down with 3% peroxide until the powder is fully wet and pasty. Then, leave it alone. 2 hours minimum. Overnight is dramatically better, and it costs you nothing but patience. Come back in the morning and the snowy white powder will have turned deep, ugly brown. That's the grime that used to be bonded to your pan, now sitting on top of it. Scrape the crust off with a plastic pan scraper, then wash normally with dish soap and a sponge. Stuff you were certain was permanent slides off. Why it works as a pair. The peroxide oxidizes the baked-on organic residue and breaks it apart, while the bunning soda gives it a mildly alkaline environment and, crucially, holds the peroxide in place. Sprayed alone, peroxide evaporates and degrades in minutes. Trapped in a paste, it stays on the job for 9 hours. Notes: this is for aluminum, aluminized steel, and stainless. Don't take an abrasive pad to non-stick coating, and dry the pan completely afterward, or you've traded grease for rust. Replaces oven cleaner, barkeeper's friend, heavy-duty degreaser, $8 to $12 a can. Number 6. Degrease the stovetop and range hood. Cooking grease doesn't just land on the stove. It aerosolizes, drifts, and settles as a thin film on the hood, the backsplash, the cabinet doors above the range, and the top of the fridge. It's tacky, it grabs dust, and after a couple of years it goes from film to varnish. The peroxide degreaser is 3 things you own. About a half cup of baking soda, enough 3% peroxide to make a spreadable paste, and a couple squirts of dish soap. The soap is doing real work here. Grease is non-polar and water won't touch it, so the surfactant is what lets everything else make contact. Smear it on the greasy zones, give it 20 to 30 minutes. Wipe with a damp microfiber cloth, following the grain on stainless steel. Buff dry. For the metal mesh filter in your range hood, the one that has never once been removed since installation, pop it out, lay it in the sink, coat it in the paste, and let it sit an hour before rinsing with hot water. Hold it up to a light afterward. You'll be able to see through it again, which means your vent fan can actually vent. Keep the paste off unsealed marble and unfinished wood cabinet faces. On sealed cabinets, test an inside corner first. Replaces kitchen degreaser sprays, $6 to $9 a bottle. Number 7. Deep clean the fridge, including the part nobody cleans. Wiping fridge shelves with a soapy rag gets the spills. It does nothing for the pink slime in the crisper drawer or the black speckles in the door gasket, that rubber accordion seal with a dozen folds in it. That gasket is the perfect mold habitat. Cold, dark, permanently damp, and full of crumbs. And mold is exactly what peroxide handles, because it's fungicidal, not just antibacterial. Empty the fridge. Wipe the loose stuff out with warm, soapy water first. Remember, Organic debris shields microbes from any disinfectant. Then spray straight 3% peroxide across the shelves, the walls, the crisper drawers, and directly into every fold of that gasket. Wrap a cloth around an old toothbrush or a butter knife and run it through the pleats. Let it sit 10 minutes. Wipe dry. No rinse necessary. It breaks down into water and oxygen, which is exactly what you want on a surface your leftovers touch. 2 bonuses. First, peroxide oxidizes the volatile compounds behind smells rather than covering them. So the old fridge odor genuinely goes, rather than turning into old fridge plus lemon. Second, if there's mold in there, you're killing it instead of relocating it. A soapy rag mostly just smears spores from one shelf to the next. Replaces appliance cleaners and mold sprays, $7 to $10. Number 8. Sink, drain, and garbage disposal. Your kitchen sink routinely tests dirtier than your toilet seat, which makes sense. Nobody rinses raw chicken packaging in a toilet. Start with the basin. Spray it down with 3% peroxide. Hit the faucet handles and the base of the faucet where gunk collects, and let it sit 10 minutes before rinsing. For hard water stains and a stained white or stainless basin, sprinkle baking soda first. Then spray peroxide over it and let the paste do its thing for 20 minutes before scrubbing. Now the drain. That slick black film coating the inside of the pipe is biofilm, and it's the actual source of the smell, not whatever went down last night. Pour a half cup of baking soda into the drain, follow it with a cup of 3% peroxide, and let it foam for 15 minutes. Chase it with a kettle of hot water. For the disposal, run the peroxide down with the water off, wait, then flush. If you want to also knock the grinding chamber clean, freeze peroxide in an ice cube tray, drop a few cubes in with cold water, and run it. The ice scours the debris off the blades and the impellers while the peroxide handles what's living on it. Do not follow any of this with a vinegar pour. Baking soda and peroxide, fine. Adding vinegar to the mix in an enclosed drain is where you start making peracetic acid in a place you have to lean over. Replaces, drain cleaners and disposal deodorizing pods, $5 to $8 a pack. Number 9, erase coffee and tea stains from mugs and carafes. That brown ring in your favorite mug is tannin, the same compound that stains teeth. It is chemically bonded into the microscopic pores of the glaze, which is why scrubbing accomplishes basically nothing and why dishwashers leave it alone entirely. Peroxide is an oxidizing bleach, and tannin stains are exactly what it is best at. Same chemistry as whitening strips, roughly, just aimed at ceramic. Method: sprinkle a spoonful of baking soda into the dry mug, pour in enough 3% peroxide to make a slurry, and swirl it around so it coats the stained ring. Let it sit 30 minutes or overnight for a decade-old mug. Wipe with a sponge. The stain lifts without scrubbing. For a glass coffee carafe with a scorched brown bottom, fill it with a few inches of peroxide, add a couple tablespoons of baking soda, and leave it an hour. Same for a French press, a stained thermos, or a travel mug lid. And for the tea drinkers, the stain in the bottom of a teapot is the same tannin, and if you have been leaving it in place because someone told you it seasons the pot, that is folklore. It is just stain. Replaces denture tablets, specialty mug cleaners, and the $12 mug you were about to replace. Number 10, disinfect the dishwasher. There's something absurd about a machine that cleans everything and is itself filthy. But your dishwasher is a warm, wet, dark box that gets fed food scraps daily. Mold and yeast colonize the gasket and the filter, and there's published research finding fungi living happily in dishwasher door seals. Skip the $6 dishwasher cleaning tablet. Pull the bottom rack out and lift out the filter, a cylinder or a flat mesh screen at the bottom of the tub. If you have never done this, brace yourself because there is a small archaeological site down there. Rinse it under hot water to clear the debris, then soak it in a bowl of half peroxide, half hot water for 15 minutes. While that soaks, spray straight peroxide around the rubber door gasket into its folds, along the bottom edge of the door where standing water pools, and around the detergent dispenser. 10 minutes, then wipe. Reinstall the filter, put a bowl with a cup of peroxide on the top rack, and run a hot cycle empty. Do this quarterly. The payoff isn't just hygiene. A clogged filter is the single most common reason a dishwasher stops actually cleaning dishes, which is the point at which people start shopping for a new dishwasher. Replaces dishwasher cleaning tablets, $6 to $8 a box. Number 11. Whiten grout and backsplash without bleach. Kitchen grout goes gray from a mix of grease film, dust, and mildew growing in the porous cement. Bleach whitens it, but it also degrades the grout over time and fills your kitchen with fumes. Those little grout pins are $8 and are essentially white out for your floor. Peroxide paste is the boring answer that works. Mix baking soda with enough 3% peroxide to make a thick, toothpaste consistency paste. Work it into the grout lines with an old toothbrush. Let it sit 15 to 30 minutes. You want the peroxide bleaching the stain, not just sitting on top of it. Scrub, then wipe clean with a damp cloth. The same paste works on the silicone caulk line where the backsplash meets the counter and around the base of the faucet, which is prime mildew real estate. 2 cautions. This is for white or light grout. Peroxide is a bleach, and it will lighten dark-colored grout unevenly, which looks worse than the stain did. And on unsealed natural stone tile, skip it entirely. Peroxide can etch marble and travertine. Replaces grout whiteners, mildew sprays, grout pens, $8 to $15. Number 12. Destain plastic containers. You made chili. You put it in a perfectly good container. Now that container is orange forever, and you feel weird bringing it to work. That's carotenoid pigment from tomatoes and paprika, and it's OIL soluble, which means it has migrated into the plastic rather than sitting on it. Soap can't reach it. Dishwashers bake it in deeper. Peroxide can reach it because it doesn't need to lift the pigment out. It just needs to break the molecule apart. Carotenoids get their color from a long chain of alternating double bonds. Oxidation snaps that chain, and the color simply stops existing. Pour enough 3% peroxide into the container to cover the stain, put the lid on loosely, and set it somewhere sunny. UV light accelerates peroxide's breakdown into free radicals, so the sun is doing half the work. 2 to 4 hours later, rinse and wash normally. The container comes out white. Yes, this is the one time you want peroxide in the light. Everywhere else you're protecting it from UV. Here you're weaponizing it. If you don't have sun, a peroxide and baking soda paste smeared inside the container overnight gets there too, just slower. Works on silicone spatulas that turned orange and on white cutting boards that went beige. Replaces buying new food storage containers, $15 to $25 a set. Number 13, whiten dish towels and kitchen rags. Last one, and it's the one that quietly saves the most money because kitchen textiles are consumables that people replace constantly. Look at the ingredients on a tub of oxygen bleach, the OxyClean style powders. The active ingredient is sodium percarbonate. Drop sodium percarbonate in water and it decomposes into washing soda and hydrogen peroxide. That's the whole product. You're buying a powder whose entire job is turning into the thing already in your bathroom cabinet. For dingy white dish towels, gray bar mops, and rags that have gone stiff and sour, Fill a sink or bucket with hot water, add about a cup of 3% peroxide, and soak for 1 to 2 hours. Then wash as normal. The peroxide oxidizes both the grease-yellow discoloration and the bacteria producing that sour mildew smell. For a single grim spot like grease, coffee, tomato, wine, or blood, pour peroxide directly on it. Let it foam for a couple minutes. Blot, then launder. Peroxide is genuinely outstanding on blood, which is worth knowing the next time a knife wins an argument. The rule that matters: whites and color-fast fabrics only. Peroxide is a bleach. It's gentler than chlorine, and it will not rot your fibers the way chlorine does over time, but it will absolutely fade a colored towel. Test an inside hem if you care about the item. Replaces oxygen bleach powders and stain removers, $10 to $15 for a product that is largely peroxide anyway. Safety Roundup Fast Recap, because it's short and it matters. Stick to 3%. The 35% food-grade stuff burns skin, and there is no kitchen job that needs it. Keep it in the dark bottle. Never mix it with vinegar in one container, and never ever combine it with anything containing chlorine bleach. Peroxide is a bleach, so test colored surfaces first. Give it the full 10 minutes of contact time, or you're just wiping things with expensive water. And one myth to kill: peroxide is no longer recommended for cleaning cuts and scrapes. The same oxidation that shreds bacteria also damages the healthy tissue trying to heal. Soap and running water. Save the peroxide for your sheet pans. So, 1 brown bottle, 13 jobs, and something like $150 a year of cleaning products that just became unnecessary. Not bad for something you already own and forgot about. Which of these are you trying first? Drop it in the comments. And if this saved you a trip to the store, hit that like button and share it with someone whose sheet pans need an intervention. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.